Hello, everybody. So this is Monday morning. It's 7:50 a.m. in the morning. It's kind of early for me. If you have seen me in last year's videos, you guys know that I am not a morning person. But these days, I do get up early before 7, and more or less it has become a habit, but I still have little challenging time. Like, I had to push myself still, but yeah. But it's been good actually, because I feel good about it. Once I get up, then I feel good about it because my days are longer in a way. I'm more productive. It just, it feels better from that aspect. It's been a while. I have been able to wake up early. I still have some notes here where a few months ago, or before then, when I was trying really hard and I couldn't I couldn't get up. But life has always been like that for me, where even if something is challenging, then when it's like when you gotta do, and you just get used to, right? So that happens. I'm pretty sure in your life also you have things like that. So, my coffee in a Dixie cup. I love how they feel in your hand. I'm uh, I'm crazy about the little things, really, really, and that's I have a playlist also saying cherish the little things, because it is so true. The little things are what makes really, really big in the long run, because we do a lot of big things in life, and then we either forget about them because they're not really important, or I don't know, they don't get to our subconscious, right? When we enjoy the little things, it it kind of goes and stays with us. Now I know that I'm talking in this video with any prep or anything. This is part of how I used to make the videos last year, especially the longer ones. There's a lot of tricks and tips. They would say that, hook your audience, first 30 seconds and all of that. I want to keep this real. I want to keep this the way that, as if I'm talking to you as a friend. And when I say you, of course, there are many of you, and I do hope that this channel grows, and I hope this connects with the right people, because when I say right people, I want to help the people who went through divorce, breakup from a long-term relationship, and job loss, because I had all of those. And a year and a half ago, I had marriage loss and a job loss at the same time. For other people also it could help, but the depth of it, like when you are absolutely in your rock bottom, from there, when you can come out on the other side, the world that you see and that you live in is very different, in a good way. Trust me, in a good way, because all your fear, all your needing for external validation just fades away, totally faded away. But then time to time, things will come back, things will remind you, either the date or a specific event or things like that. And there's a healing time. You heal and you recover, and Joe Dispenza says that when you're when you remember a memory without the emotion attached to it, then it becomes a wisdom. It takes time for it to become a wisdom. If you think of an example from your childhood, right, there could be a lot of good experiences and some challenging experiences. You remember them, but not necessarily fully um, feel those emotions. That is what I'm talking about, right? So you have those wisdom that you gain along the way, and that wisdom helps you to push you further. Like in my case, one of the example I'll say is so in India there is a thing called a joint entrance examination. So if you're here in the United States, it's like SAT. And I don't know here, I think, yeah, here also you can do it more than once. So my first year, I remember when I did it, my score was not that good. I got to an engineering college. So if I did my engineering from there, I won't have any job. And my life's trajectory would be completely different, like literally very different. I probably won't be here and all of that. But anyway, somebody, my distant relation, she was super nice. She told me that, why don't you go for a second time, because I know this person who did it, and then their score second time was really good, and I don't know, something in me ignited. Even though initially I thought I won't, and there is no guarantee, right? There is no guarantee. You study all year, do everything that you need to do, and then it could be good or it could be bad. So anyway, so I did. I gave my best, and that was probably one of the biggest transformative year, or maybe so far that was the biggest transformative year that changed the course of my entire life. So that, of course, the first year, especially in the early days when I figured out, okay, this is what my score is and this is what's going to happen, it was not easy, and I was 18. It was a lot for an 18-year-old to think about life and what will happen after you finish college, job, and my family. I'm not from a rich family or anything, so my mom is there. My dad died in stroke when I was 6 years old, and we're 6 siblings. I'm the youngest. All of them are in India. I'm the only one here in the US. I've been here for 20 years now. If you are new here and wondering, I'm in 40s. No. Okay, so that changed the trajectory of my life. That second year. So a lot of time when I had to draw inspiration from something that I did. Of course, there was help, like, my mom and my siblings. There was help and inspiration and all of that. And of course, there was obstacles, all of that. But ultimately, it's us. We ourselves has to do the work for our life to change. And of course, God's grace need to be there. At the time, so you guys see that I wear the cross. I became Christian last year. That's a whole different story that I'm gonna share in one of my upcoming books. I have a lot of plans for different books, different book series. I'm planning to do at least one before end of the year, and more next year. Because there's a lot of different things, as you know. I do YouTube, daily YouTube videos, and now I have some weeklies, and I love to do it every day, but every day I can't with all the things going on, but I really love doing this. I don't know, I always had the thing about making a difference in people's lives. Even when I was working in the corporate industry, a lot of people would tell me on the business side, because I was a technology management, I was in the technology management, large team, getting things done and delivering to the business side. And the last job I was a senior director. But always I would hear from marketing, product, those departments, that I'm a different kind of a IT person, because they would see that how, and I have heard it from multiple organizations, which is a good thing, that I look at it, the things, like how it would benefit customers. Normally they don't see that from technology side, even from the management. So that was a good compliment to hear. And some of it I knew, because the reason is the way I look at it when they talk about, they need this thing for the customer, and then you need to build 3 different systems. Yes, the 3 different systems is what the technology team need to focus on, but how does those 3 systems help the end user, meaning the person who will be using it? Think of like a Bank of America or other banks, when they create an app, and if that needs to touch 3 systems, how is it going to serve the customer? How is it going to make it easier, if they forget their password and all of that? So anyway, and going the extra mile that other banks may not go, like that type of questions I would ask where others may not, so that type of thing. A lot of other things, so those are not, so the point is that I was always passionate about how to make a difference in the people who are going to use our system. So when I got into this, that I'm like, that direct impact of making someone's life, like where there is so much pain and suffering in this world. And I have seen last year, when I was going through my own recovery and healing, and have attended so many different things, and I was like, I've seen people who are struggling for years, 3 years, 5 years. I'm like, oh my God, it should not be that long, right? And the sad part is the people who are back in the session are the people who are trying to do those sessions again. It was like a group divorce recovery session, and their ex, they're not even doing anything. Now, that is their life, but the point is the people who are trying to work on themselves, and they are struggling for years, and that is not fair, right? So I thought that, there's got to be another way. There's got to be another way. People should not be suffering so much, because life is short, our time is precious, we especially in midlife, we don't know how much of our life is left. My dad died when he was 52 years old. 52. Especially after 40, when you realize that life is not forever. In 20s and 30s, we have that feeling, but it's not really, I don't think it really sinks in. And And if you are watching these videos and you're in 20s and 30s, because from the analytics I see that there are a lot of viewers in that age range also watch these videos. First of all, thank you, welcome. um, Welcome. I really, really appreciate you guys coming and watching the videos. And in some way, I think it is good for us to know and realize that yes, there is a real thing called midlife crisis. I used to joke about it, but there's a TED talk around that. It's a psychological phenomenon. Did I say that word right? I have an accent, so you know what I mean. It's basically a psychological thing. It hits most people. So after 40, people will talk about those abstract things like who am I, and even if everything is going on good in your life, and I have known people where everything is going on good in their life, then they still would say like, why am I here? What am I supposed to do? What's my life's purpose? All of that. Also, the divorce and all of that happens when if you're in a relationship, you're not happy, and this is a time people sometimes really take the step because you may have been together for 5 years, 10 years, and you don't want your remainder of your life to go that way because you know that this and that is not working, and letting go is hard. And if you are in that situation, I'm not telling you to let go without trying, but because prevention is better than cure. Trust me, prevention is better than cure. That applies to even marriage. However, what is the most important thing is because I do so much studies these days. Even yesterday when I was walking outside, I was listening to John Gottman, Julie Gottman's TED Talk. Both people in a relationship need to be willing to work the marriage, because even if one person wants to do everything, that okay, I'm gonna do everything to make it work, and the other person is already out, you cannot make it work because it's a two people thing. And interestingly enough, they say that, and they have so much data. I'm actually surprised how the Gottman Institute study is not more popular than it is. They have amazing amount of data about all of this. So I'm very inspired by their work. Very, very, very inspired. Anyway, so they were saying fight is actually not necessarily bad in a relationship, but how you fight. And they have a book called Fight Right that came early this January 2024, I think. Right, yeah, last year. And it talks about, they cover the parts where people were, during the pandemic, where people were all indoors, like some people felt like they're in a pressure cooker, like a lot of stress all inside the house. So they covered that, and from their data, they said that 69% of the conflicts between a couple never actually go away. 69%. That's huge. That's like 2/3, right? So if you think of it like a random, like if you take a week out of 7 days, like 4 days, the conflict, I don't know, like I'm just putting some random numbers there. And 2 to 3 days you have no conflict. But the point is, it's not like that I'm just giving a perspective, or a month, there are like 20 days conflict, 10 days no conflict. But the point is, they say it's not about resolving all conflict, it's about managing the conflict. So I like that concept. So I was like, so randomly I just remembered, so I thought I'd share So our mind thinks that, so you get out of this relationship, and then sooner or later you get into another relationship and you think that that'll be all perfect. No, there also will have that 69% conflict no matter how the relationship start, because in the beginning there's always this honeymoon phase, and after that, we start seeing the disagreements, because we all are different human beings, and we all need to learn how to respect the differences, but instead uh, we try to change the other person, and it happens from both sides. And a lot of our expectations stems from our childhood. But the good thing is that when we are intentional, we can always change it. It's not easy, but I gotta be willing. So I shared these things randomly today. I mean, I have done some of this type of talks last year, probably quite a bit. These days I don't make these videos as often. I would like to, but here and there I do. Yeah, it's life is sometimes you go through all of life's experiences, and you gotta think that all experiences are shaping you to be who you want to be, like who you're really meant to be. I don't know, my who you are really meant to be. And if you believe in God, I do, and you can believe in universe, other God, anything that resonates with you, that every experience, if you really believe that, then you will be looking for what are you learning from that experience, because it was not automatic, trust me. After working on myself so deep last year, literally every experience and conflict, especially the challenging ones, right? I ask myself, when I can't find a meaning, that what is it trying to teach me? What am I learning from that? And so I try to look for the positive in it, because there's always, because we are the audience and we are the storyteller, no matter what is going on in the world, like literally, you can have many different stories about the same thing. So I try to find that underlying truth, and sometimes it could be that that experience happens so that our faith in God gets stronger. Sometimes it could be that, oh, I need to change this in me, or there could be so many different things that, oh, maybe I am not. I have a picture over there, you guys can't see. I talk about the bucket filler. If you come here often, you know what it is, bucket, happiness bucket. So, and I have this whiteboard. I gotta do some of those whiteboard session. I have this triangle, excuse me, mindfulness triangle, and the rich life quadrant. Rich is an acronym: relationship, ideal life, career, and health. So I gotta cover those here. Those are in the process of getting trademarked, because I follow them every day, and I've seen when I don't, I follow the track, I spiral down. So anyway, those are from many years of studies, and they really do work. They really do work, because so yeah, where I was going with that is, because conflict will keep happening, and for us, always looking to see what did I learn from that experience? And I love how Wayne Dyer said, we are all here in art school, right? So art school means we are all the experiences that is happening around us is trying to teach us something. You know, when you go to school, there are lots of lectures and studies and all that, and it's up to the kids if they want to learn something from it. If they want to ignore, they can ignore. So same thing. I think life is like that. It's always there teaching us things, and it's up to us if we want to learn from that experience or just let it go. It took me a while, 40 something, to realize that, but I'm glad that I had that realization at least at 40 something, not before the day I died, because I am, and this is why I'm so grateful that I am living the life now that I won't have any regret. I won't have any regret. A lot of people would say that on your deathbed, what would you be thinking about, or what would you have regret? And that is the question I asked myself a year and a half ago. And from there, I started living my life differently. But guess what? Even then, not everybody around you will be happy. Not everybody around you will be cheering you on. And you gotta be okay with that. Because what we have to do is first be fully 100% be authentic to yourself. And when you do that, that is when you will have the peace and joy. And joy is like enjoying that little coffee. Like so much that as if like that is something really precious, because it is. So, because as we try to please other people, now we gotta compromise, we gotta do things, we gotta help people. That's not the point. The point is, so many times we get caught up in what is this person is gonna say, what is that person is gonna think. But I have learned after being here for 20 years all by myself, and I have very good friends. Some of the friends are like, oh my God, they're like family. You got to be true to yourself, and the right people will come along. And some people will be there only in a few chapters of your book, meaning your life. And some will continue. And then the new people will join in your some chapters. Okay? And that's what life is all about. And then one day for all of us, the book will end, meaning our life will be over. So yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to do this talk today, unplanned. Hopefully these videos help you guys if you are going through some challenges. I would highly encourage write a journal. If you can do daily, it's great. Even if you can't do daily, a few times a week, or at least once a week, same time, same day a week. Let's say if Wednesday is your day, Wednesday 8 p.m., just do it at that time, because you want to form a habit. And this will change you. I promise you, this will change you once you keep doing, because the time is going to pass. But I know how that storm feels like. I lived through it. My one goal for this channel is to make a difference in people's life who have been through that painful, intense, painful situation of divorce or breakup. Job loss is sad. You can find another job. For marriage, eventually you can get married, you can find another boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, but your heart is not intertwined with job, but your heart is intertwined with your marriage. So the impact is a lot more. And if you have been through my type of experience where both happened at the same time, that will shake you to your core. And the other day I was saying, it was in a podcast related group meeting where I said that it was kind of random. I thought about it. You know that movie Titanic, after the cruise ship crashed, it hit the iceberg, and Kate Winslet, her name was Rose in the movie, and how Rose was on a plank so that she doesn't drown and die. So she was on a plank. So it's almost like that. You're holding onto something so that you don't die. And that's how my situation was. Because I don't think there is any other better way to explain it. But life takes us through those situations, or God takes us through those situations so that we become stronger, so that we can, at the time it didn't make sense, but now I know why God took me through those experiences, because those storms are what made me realize how bad the pain is. Because if I understand it personally, only then I'll be able to help people the most, right? Because if I didn't go through that, I would get it somewhat, but not fully. And I know that every situation is different, because when I went to the divorce recovery sessions at the church, I remember so many people have different kind of stories, like meaning the experiences they went through, and some are really, really challenging. And I feel for them. I pray for them. Hopefully things have gotten better. It's been a while. It was about 6 months ago, maybe more now. Yeah, 8-9 months ago. So there's a lot of pain and suffering. And we as human beings, we like to suffer, believe it or not. It is sad and funny at the same time, because our subconscious, the body likes to suffer. Sometimes our mind, it's easier to, believe it or not, it's easier to get your mind out of that, out of the zone, out of the experience after practicing for a while. But your body likes to suffer, because your body kind of gets, it's almost like, think of like when you learn how to drive, and initially you have to think about all the moves, but then after some time you're talking on the phone, you're driving, you're drinking your water, eating chips if you're going for a long drive. I don't know, but the point is that your body gets, you have heard the autopilot, your body gets in the autopilot. So unfortunately, it does it for the bad stuff. It's the inner critic and the inner coach. The inner critic goes on an autopilot, and it takes longer to teach the body than to teach our mind. That's my opinion, because sometimes it could be the other way for some people, but because that's what addiction is about. when people smoke cigarette or something, the smell of cigarette I can't stand. Sorry if you eat, I mean eat, if you smoke, but that's what it is. Like sometimes people would be strong enough to say that, okay, I'm gonna quit smoking, but then in the beginning their body goes through that withdrawals, and that's the discomfort feeling, or and if people who drink, for them it's the drinking, like when they stop, their body sometimes could like shake and whatnot. So the body goes through that withdrawal. So it takes a lot longer to train the body than the mind, because I think the mind is not, I think it is, mind is so much more powerful. But the good thing is that you can control your body through your mind. First thing is you gotta believe that you can, and second is you just gotta keep doing the hard things. Even if it is hard to go for a walk, you gotta do it. Yesterday was perfect example. I was like, after dinner I thought like, oh, I just want to lay down a little bit, I'm a little tired. I'm telling that story to myself, and then I'm like, no, I'm not gonna lay down, because as soon as I lay down, I'm not gonna go. And then I went for a walk. I actually, my God, I probably walked the longest yesterday, was almost 2 hours. So 1 hour, 45 minutes. I'm like, it felt good though. It was, I was happy that I got used to walking that long, because someday, I don't know. I was hoping before end of this year, but I don't think it'll be. I want to do half a marathon, which is 13.1 mile. And for that, right now at the speed I am, it'll take 4 hours. But, and I am not even ready. But my hope is that eventually I get there. I think the people who are really good at it, for them, half a marathon is about 2 hours. And if you're beginner, 4 hours. So I'm hoping I can do it at 3 hours when I eventually get there. But slowly, with the little walk and run, I think I'll get there, even if not this year, but next year, someday. That's on my bucket list. I don't know, for some reason, I just want to do that. So anyway, those are those little things you can always keep in your bucket list. Those kind of things also sometimes gives you that sense of accomplishment. For me, it is, at least. So yeah, and I was just feeling very grateful this morning that Monday mornings, especially you're in corporate, a lot of people think that Monday mornings are challenging. I have been in jobs where I looked forward to Monday mornings, less though, in 21 years, less time than. But it was all about people. I remember, like, whenever, like, I had this amazing huge group of people, and we were like friends, and my people who work for me, they saw me as like their friends. I believe in that friend and a mentor type of relationship between boss and subordinate, because if you don't do that, if people have fear, that's not good. But anyway, I'm not gonna talk much about work. Like, the point is, yeah, I was feeling grateful that Monday morning I can do this, because it fills my soul, and I really, really, really do hope that it helps you too. And I know that from the comments that a lot of you are getting help, and it's not me, it's through God. I especially, a lot of times, the way I feel fearless, the way I feel like, oh, I don't have to think about external validations, that type of thing, I never had before. So it cannot be me. It is God guiding me on the path that He wants me to go. And that is an amazing feeling. So I would finish with this, that whatever you believe in, the God, the universe, the divine, the higher power, or something in you, believe it so much that you are on the right path. It is unfolding the best version of yourself. Okay, have an amazing rest of Monday and amazing week ahead. Bye.